Disclaimer. The information shared in this podcast regarding the CBSE Board pattern for 2026 is based on the guidelines and information currently available from the Central Board of Secondary Education. The purpose of this discussion is purely informational and educational. Viewers are advised that CBSE policies, examination patterns, and evaluation methods may change from time to time. For the most accurate and updated information, please refer to the official CBSE website and official notifications released by CBSE. In case of any updates, modifications, or changes in the guidelines in the future, the latest and final instructions issued by CBSE will be considered valid and applicable.
Ma'am, we've heard that board exams will now happen twice a year for class 10th. Why and how, ma'am?
The board exams in India now will happen twice, but only for class 10 as per now.
So what will be the scheme for these exams?
It is mandatory for all students to take first board examination. The re-evaluation will be open only after the second board result is declared.
So ma'am, if a student scores lesser marks in her second board exam,
So if a child is appearing for improvement and scores lesser marks or even if fails,
Hello everyone and welcome to our podcast. I am Mehu Sunil Verma, Vice Captain of Shri Ambika House, and I'll be your host for today. In this episode, we're going to talk about something very important for students, parents and teachers. The changes in the exam pattern and the marking scheme introduced by CBSE from 2026 onwards. Don't worry, we'll explain everything in very simple language. We'll look at what has changed, why these changes are happening, and how they may affect students in their preparation and performance. So stay with us as we have with us Mrs. Seema Bakshi, Dean of Academics for Middle and Senior School, who will break it down step by step and make it easy for us to understand. Good morning, ma'am. Welcome to our podcast.
good morning, Mehu. Thank you for having me here today.
So first and foremost, ma'am, we all are keen to know the philosophy behind the 2026 CBSE exam changes. Can you please brief us about it?
So the goal is to move from rote memorization to skill and competency based education. The purpose basically is to see that children are able to apply their understanding in the real life scenarios.
Ma'am, we've heard that board exams will now happen twice a year for class 10th. Why and how, ma'am?
Yes, the board exams in India now will happen twice, but only for class 10 as per now. You know, the board exams in our country are very, very stressful for all the stakeholders, parents, teachers, as well as students. You appeared for your board exam last year. So the aim is to eliminate this stress and high stake aspect of single examination. So that's the reason the board will now happen twice for class 10.
So what will be the scheme for these exams?
The first board examination is currently going on. The second board exam will be conducted in the month of May. The result of the second board exam will be declared by the end of June. It is mandatory for all students to take first board examination. All those students who wish to improve can apply for improvement after the result of first board is declared. And they can apply for improvement in maximum 3 subjects out of languages, mathematics, science, and social science. So if a child is unable to appear for exams in 2 subjects, can also appear in the second board examination, but the reason has to be very valid. If a student fails in 2 subjects, can also appear for improvement in the second board examination. However, if a child fails in 3 subjects or is unable to appear in the examination in 3 subjects, will fall in the category of essential repeat and will have to write the board examination next year.
Many students might want the re-evaluation after their first board exam. So what will be the procedure for that?
So there is no provision of re-evaluation after the first board. The students have to decide for their improvement after the first board result, depending on whatever marks they have got. The revaluation will be open only after the second board result is declared, and the process remains the same as is currently going on.
Will the students who want to appear in the second board exams get their mark sheet in July and the rest in May?
So all the students will get their mark sheets in their DigiLockers, and they can use, all those who don't want an improvement in their results can use this mark sheet for admission in class 11. However, the hard copies will be made available only after the result of second board is declared.
So, ma'am, if a student scores lesser marks in her second board exam, will her mark sheet reflect less marks?
No. So if a child is appearing for improvement and scores lesser marks, or even if fails in the second board, her marks of the first exam will be considered. However, if a child is appearing as a compartment student and fails in the second attempt also, she will be put in the category of fail and she will have to appear for the exams next year.
Also, ma'am, can a candidate register for an additional subject in the second board exam?
No, a child can apply for improvement only in the subjects in which she was registered. It will not be permitted in the standalone subjects. But yes, the CBSE has permitted students to change from standard mathematics to basic mathematics for improvement in the second board examination.
Ma'am, is there any kind of change in the format of the question paper also?
Yes, the 50% question paper is going to be based on competency. The competency-based questions could be in form of MCQs, source-based questions, case-based questions also. 20% MCQs and 30% would be constructed response type of questions. The science paper of class 10 will be divided in 3 sections: physics, chemistry and biology. And social science paper will be divided in 4 sections: history, geography, political science and economics. The students are very strictly advised to go by the sections and not mix up the questions. Possible that teachers don't check the questions if they are not in an order, and even if you try for revaluation and re-verification of marks, those questions will not be checked.
Ma'am, what is APAR ID?
APAR stands for Automated Permanent Academic Account Registry. So it's a 10-digit lifelong ID of Indian students launched under NEP 2020. So the APAR consolidates all achievements of students, their credits, etc. in one place. It is attached with DigiLocker and they can use it as and when they require.
Ma'am, are there changes in class 12th board exams also?
So the major change in class 12 is with respect to evaluation of their answer copies. For the first time, CBSE has introduced OSM, which means on-screen marking. So the copies are going to be checked digitally. All the answer scripts will be scanned and sent to the schools, where the teachers will be checking the copies digitally. The marks will get automatically calculated. They will not be done manually now. So the chances of mistakes in calculations, etc. would become minimum.
Ma'am, would you like to give any instructions for class 12 students who are writing their exams now?
Yes, since the copies are going to be evaluated digitally, they must avoid using very light ink or pencil, light pencil for writing. Also, they must not attach their maps, their graph papers in between 2 written sheets. Rather, they should attach them in between 2 blank sheets. Because once the scanning happens and there is a map or an attachment in between, whatever is written on the sheet below will not be scanned and the child will lose marks.
Ma'am, since there are many changes happening in the exam procedures, is there any kind of training for teachers who are involved in the evaluation process?
Yes. So teachers are undergoing intensive training as per now. They are checking the papers. There's what you call the mock evaluation is currently going on. All the teachers of class 12 especially have to check 5 copies digitally. Yesterday only, all the teachers were made to sit in the computer lab and they all sat and checked the copies digitally. This was a mock evaluation organized by the CBSE. So they have been going through the mock evaluation, and I'm sure by the time they get the copies to check, board copies to check, they would be quite trained in the whole pattern.
So as we come towards the end of today's episode, I would like to sincerely thank Seema ma'am for sharing such thoughtful and forward-looking insights on exam reforms. The conversation truly helped us understand that assessment is not just about marks, but about curiosity, critical thinking, and real learning. See you soon in our next podcast. Thank you, Gyanam Brahma.